Live from downtown Vancouver at the Vancouver Film School campus, it's time for EP Live. Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool. And you know what's cool is that it's almost E3 time, and all the big announcements are going to be heading our way very, very soon. We've got some leaks that we're going to get into today. Sam Red, I know him as Sam Red from Twitter. Sam Makovech, I think that's how you say his last name. Sam's going to kill me. He's our guest today from Ars Technica. He is going to be on after the rundown, and we're going to get into it, talking about the games we know about, the games that have been leaked, the games that we think are coming, and all kinds of E3 goodness. We've got a great show for you. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you're having an awesome Friday. It's a beautiful start to a weekend here in Vancouver, and I thank everybody for coming into the space today. Thank you for being a part of this day, coming in from the heat and talking video games with me. This is going to be a lot of fun. Let's get started with our rundown, and it's going out to a brand new member, Easy054098. This is your rundown. You can turn off the bat signal because Gotham City has found its new Batman. Multiple outlets report that Warner Brothers and DC have officially inked a deal with Twilight star Robert Pattinson to play the new Batman. No public announcements have been made, but Variety, Deadline, and The Hollywood Reporter all claim that it's a done deal, and Pattinson will be donning the cape and cowl. Rumors surfaced recently that he was the front runner for the job, although at the time the studio was still trying to decide between him and another actor, Nicholas Hoult, so it looks like Pattinson won the battle. The new Batman movie is slated to begin pre-production this summer, and I think what Warner Brothers did, they knew that this was going to cause a lot of controversy, and we were going to get a lot of people like myself, full confession, get up in arms on Twitter and say, "What the hell, man? What? He was like the vampire from Teen Beat. What the hell? That's not Batman." So we all did that, and we did a week of complaining and whining, but we knew that he was probably going to be Batman. And then they maybe probably have paid Nicholas Hoult some money to say, "You might be Batman." He might be in the movie as something else. They probably did something there. But basically, Warner Brothers gave us a week to get over it, and now it's announced and it's official, and I think we're all over it. And it's like, okay, let's see what you can do, pretty boy. Maybe he's going to be good. I'm sure he's training his ass off right now to get in shape and to look badass and tough. I know the guy's a good actor, and I know you're all flaming me right now with all kinds of comments and cussing me out because the internet has no barriers and you just say whatever the hell comes into your mind. I know that. But it's more than just that I wanted. I wanted there to be kind of a clean slate, no expectations, no extra pressure on that actor. That's just me selfishly. Just wanted a surprise, Batman a la Christopher Reeve as Superman, or Robert Downey. Well, Robert Downey Jr. had a lot of baggage, but he was perfect for Tony Stark, wasn't he? Anyways, I am excited to see what Matt Reeves has got up his sleeve with a much younger and presumably more agile, more detective-oriented Batman. I'm super psyched to see what's going on there. Ben Affleck was a good choice physically for a certain type of Batman, but I think it was undermined by some scripts that didn't really honor the source material in as many fruitful ways as trying to be as diplomatic as possible. But I didn't appreciate all the choices that Zack Snyder had with his use of Ben Affleck as our Batman for the last few years. And I don't think, honestly, Ben Affleck did either. But let's see how this new Batman works out. Hopefully it is the most acrobatic and intelligent Batman we've ever seen on screen. That would be awesome. Now, and speaking of DC movies, it looks like the films are getting more and more help from the comics. The big screen adaptation of the iconic DC franchise New Gods has brought on a new screenwriter, Tom King, who's written countless comic books for both DC and Marvel. He'll work closely with the film's director, Ava DuVernay, to craft the... Did I get her name right? Close, right? Okay. To craft the story, and he's already familiar with the New Gods characters, having written an entire comic series featuring New Gods hero, Mr. Miracle. Tom King's involvement could signal a shift for the DC movies. The films were initially reluctant to utilize DC Comics veterans, but more recently, Aquaman was co-written by Jeff Johns, and the upcoming Wonder Woman 1984 is produced by Jim Lee. New Gods is expected to hit theaters in 2021. Yeah, Warner Brothers has been notoriously siloed off as a company for many, many years, and it always struck me as a bit odd. I mean, there was a bit of a kind of a throwaway dismissiveness with the idea of crafting a Superman the movie back in the 70s. And it wasn't until Richard Donner took a look at the original script and said, no, we got to do a much better job here. And he kicked the script to Mario Puzo, who had come off of The Godfather. And they tooled a Superman film, a superhero film for the ages. But Warner Brothers never really cared all that much. And Batman was kind of in the same boat. It became a successful monetary property for them, but they've always looked at them as sort of, I think, like these juvenile for the fans and super genre, super niche kind of properties that they would make some money off of, but they weren't the prestige. But what's always been fascinating for me is that no matter what era of Warner Brothers movies that you look at through since the 1970s, and I've seen tons of home video advertisements and lots of pre-rolls on it, VHS tapes and then DVDs talking about the Warner Brothers library, they would always kick to Superman and then later on to Batman. So, even though outwardly they weren't always making the best choices with these characters, I think as an organization, these characters were incredibly important to them financially. Now they're starting to understand that fans loving these properties means lots of money and lots of success, and people that really intimately know these characters and these properties having their hands all over them, figuratively speaking, is going to turn into some really, really good work for us. So, and clearly they've got the roadmap for all that with the fine work that Kevin Feige and his team has been doing with the Marvel MCU. So hopefully we're going in that direction. James Gunn's on Suicide Squad. Hopefully things are going to start to get awesome with DC movies. All right, Nintendo has quietly brought out another one of their biggest franchises to VR. A new update for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was released this morning, making the game playable with the new Nintendo Labo VR headset. It doesn't work with the entire game. You'll only be able to use it when playing offline, and even then in just limited and timed battles. But the good news is that you'll get a new perspective that lets you see more of the stage. It's available now as a free update to Smash, although you'll obviously need to buy the Labo VR headset in order to get in. Nintendo has already released similar VR modes for other big Switch games like Super Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. I have not yet tried those out on the Labo VR. We've done just the headset building. My daughter and I, we just put together basically they look like Viewmaster, like a headpiece there where you can stick the Switch in, and you do get some pretty cool, VR mini games or tech demos, but we haven't done any actual gameplay with the VR headset, and we haven't done any more building of any of the Labo VR kit either. Mostly because I've been traveling, and then when I've been home, my daughter her schedule's full with all kinds of stuff. So I'm really trying to do the Labo VR experience with a 7-year-old to get her perspective, because if she digs it and sees it as the future of video games, I want to hear that, right? So I don't just want to put it together and compare it to the Oculus Quest. I wanted to sort of see if this is really an engaging and fun experience for my kid. So stay tuned. I will have some thoughts on the whole Labo VR experience. Now, we're never going to get another movie with all 4 original Ghostbusters, but here's the next best thing. A remastered version of the 2009 Ghostbusters video game is on the way. It's being made by Saber Interactive, the same studio behind the remastered editions of Halo, and like the original, will feature all 4 of the classic Ghostbusters actors doing, what else? Good old-fashioned ghostbusting. The remastered version lands this summer. It's no coincidence that this is coming out just in time for the new Ghostbusters movie. That's billed as a direct sequel to the first 2 films, albeit focusing on a new group of characters. It hits theaters next year. I also think this is the 35th anniversary or something of Ghostbusters. It's a big deal this year that Ghostbusters is front and center and it's out there. I know Greg Miller and his team. Greg Miller made all of the kind of funny guys buy Ghostbusters outfits. He's hardcore, but I know that they're super happy for it. I loved this game when it came out on the Xbox 360. I thought it was a really great homage to the classic Ghostbusters franchise, and it had all the actors in it, and it was just fun. It was a really well-made game, so hopefully Saber doesn't drop the ball, and we get an awesome, modern-day coat of paint on a very solid Ghostbusters game. These licensed games, I know we poo-poo them all the time in our business, but sometimes they are incredibly important. As I am discovering, and we'll talk about when we get into the Mega SG discussion a little bit later in the show,